Hey, I'm Brody Brazil, and welcome to Teal Town After Dark.
Brody, thank you as always. Good evening, Sharks fans. It is Saturday night, March 16th, 2019. They weren't after the Lucky Charms. They were after a playoff spot, and unfortunately, it did not work out that way. The Sharks lose 4-2 to the Nashville Predators on home ice. Welcome to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. We do this live after every Sharks game, home and away, here on YouTube. So do yourself a favor, smash that subscribe button down below. But of course, if you want to be a part of the show, this is a live and interactive experience. There are multiple ways to interact with us. You can chat with us and fellow Sharks fans in the YouTube chat, on the page or the app. You can also at or hashtag us using Teal Town USA. And also make sure you hit us on the social, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and the YouTube. We got a packed show tonight, and we'll say hello to Mr. Hey Now, providing the power play drums since 1991. It is Mr. AJ Strong.
As they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Gotcha. And also joining us, the guy who... okay, so the win streak's over, Landi. It's time to clean the room.
Yep.
And Mr. Kevin Lacey will be joining us a little later on to break down the Barracuda game that happened earlier today. But let's get at it. The Sharks get Evander Kane back after a couple of weeks due to personal reasons. Jonas Donskoi Don Father bobblehead night gets the healthy scratch as we get into it. And the Predators wouldn't take long to get into this game. Minute 7 in, Colton Sissons with his 13th of the season from Smith and Yarncroc make it 1-0 Nashville. AJ, I'll start with you. Not the best way to start off again for the Sharks on this homestand.
Wait. Can we just call out the elephant in the room, please? I feel we're remiss. Holy hell! 4 paws for hockey.
Whoa!
4 paws up, setting the bar damn high from the get-go. That
we have $50.
Unbelievable. Okay, and so with that, everybody else, you're on the clock. Okay. But no,
can I get 100?
Yeah. Can we please call out the elephant in the room? Look, there might be a lot of people that get on me for saying something about this, but I've been holding it for quite a while, and I have to at least address it. The fact of the matter is, having SJ Sharkey on the glass tonight begging for a puck is not right. It's not right. I don't care that he's been around for 12,000 or 1,237 games. It's not cool, dude. Let somebody else have a puck is all I'm saying. But anyway, Sissons on the breakaway after, for me, Timo Meier easing up in the neutral. I'm not the only one who felt this way, by the way, but I feel like if Meier would have been on his horse a little bit more, he would have been able to maybe break that up. But, I mean, I guess it's better than getting scratched on your bobblehead night.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there, AJ. I felt like the Sharks kind of came out a little flat-footed. It just seemed like they are still kind of getting that rust off from that road trip. And yeah, it just never really looked settled throughout the whole game tonight. Really didn't like the way that they were attacking through the neutral zone. I didn't really like the way that they were defending on the neutral zone either. The hallmark of their winning was standing the guys up on the blue line, and it just wasn't happening. They were just allowing the Predators to gain entry into the zone. I was not happy with the way that they sealed the half walls tonight, the defensemen especially coming down. Trying to seal those half walls. And on that particular play, it looked like Timo just let up.
Which is,
man, we got deep for only like a minute and a half worth of play, but go ahead.
But here's the thing. You talk about letting up, guys. At the same time, this was a forward just not even a week ago, skating his butt off with 5 seconds to play to get the puck to Powers for a game-winning goal. You got to be ready to go the first minute. You got to be ready to go the last minute. So moving onward, more little shenanigans here and there. 3 minutes in, former Shark Matt Irwin interferes with current Shark Michael Haley, setting up a Sharks power play. That didn't do anything. Things got a little more feisty later on. 5:59. Barclay Goodrow roughs up PK Subban. You just can't do that. However, it also sparred up Haley and Simmons to drop the gloves. Although I think the linesmen were like telling them to get going, and they finally got going, and they didn't get too much in. But the 5:59 mark,
that was so bizarre. Like like Haley and Simmons are like starting to line up, and you can see both of them were kind of like, okay, how am I going to attack this? And you could see one of the refs like kind of like tap Haley on the ass and go, are you going, or what are you going to do? Like either go or stop. And then they start to go, and then, you know, they have at it for 25, 30 seconds, whatever it is. And then just when it starts to get interesting and Haley is about to get the upper hand, the ref jumps in, and you can see Haley is just like, really, bro?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that one, AJ. And, you know, it looked like, honestly, the fourth line was the line that really came out to energize the Sharks. And when that's happening, that's normally not a very good thing, you know? And it sucks that line doesn't have a little bit more skill, because they were kind of flying out there all, you know, throughout the entire night, and really were giving it their all.
Man, I don't know. Either way, I mean, you had a couple early penalties. I mean, okay, so you got Irwin interfering with former Shark Matt Irwin, but you had all that, you know, kerfuffle. Johansson would slash Pavelski. Okay, fine. The thing that just gets me on this, though, is, look, okay, fine. The Sharks played 3 and 4 nights when they came in 2 games ago. Coming into that, they'd played 4 and 6. Okay, so now they've played, what, 5 and 8 days or whatever it is? I don't know. They've had 2 days now to lock down the playoff spot, and they keep throwing it away. And 2 days ago, they were given a gift when Dallas beat Minnesota. Tonight, they were given a gift when Winnipeg beat Calgary.
Oh,
both times.
No,
come on, man. Take advantage of this.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking too, AJ. It's just, you know, the dominoes had been set up for them. All they needed to do was just knock them down, and it was going to create the chain reaction of getting back into the first in the West. And unfortunately, they just couldn't take advantage of it tonight. And, you know, you don't want to say it's a missed opportunity, but it's a missed opportunity. And, you know, it's just, you just hope that this isn't a sign of things kind of finally catching up to them, and especially with all the travel and all the games packed together. But then again, you know, they really have to understand that it's going to be a dogfight getting in and going into this thing. I mean, it's not going to get any easier. You're going to have a back-to-back against Calgary and Vegas. You got you got Vegas on Monday. You know, the road does not get any easier. They're at home, for crying out loud. I mean, they need to take advantage of their home cooking.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a dogfight. I mean, like, they have like 10 games left, and like 6 of them are at home. I mean, I think they're going to be fine.
I mean, dogfight for the fight for the Pacific, right?
For the Pacific, yeah, Calgary. I'll give you that. But if you look at Calgary's schedule versus San Jose's schedule, they're pretty even. Like, the teams that they're facing, both of them, it's like the Sharks are facing the bulk of all the teams that they're facing all put together. Calgary, those teams that they're going to face have like a 52.3% winning percentage. The Sharks, the teams they're facing, have like a 52.1 winning percentage. Like, it is that freaking close. It really could very well come down to that final game at the end of the month versus Calgary as to which way this goes.
No, I totally agree. And I think that's going to, it's going to be really interesting to see that game and then the Vegas game, because those two.
Which one? We play Vegas 2 more times.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? That's
No. The one
huge.
go back to back with Calgary.
Yeah.
That's
well, and who gets it? Who's in net? You know, does Jones start both of those? And let's be honest, that question will be answered all because of what San Jose and Calgary does from this point onward. If San Jose gets on a streak for 4 or 5 games and builds up a cushion, then it's like, well, obviously Dell gets a start in one of those games. But if it's still neck and neck, do you put Jones in there? And the other question being, Jones over the last 10 games, I mean, Mr. Streaky. You know, he'll throw a shutout against Minnesota. Then the following game, he throws up an .856 save percentage. You know, so it's, you just don't know what Jones you're going to get. And there's been so much talk for the majority of this season about Jones. And there's some people that are saying, why are you bringing up Jones? You know, he's fine and he always turns it on in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. Fact of the matter is, it's like the Sharks are bottom feeders when it comes to even strength goalie, you know, save percentage. So I think it's a valid question to at least bring up.
No, I totally agree with you, AJ. And if it were me, I'd play Jones back to back. And I know that the percentages don't tell you that that's a good thing, but this is also a goaltender who, like you said before, is notoriously streaky. If you get him on a winning streak and you get him going good in the last stretch run, you know, to the playoffs, I think that's all you can really do to set him up for success. You know, he's a lot like, you know, pretty much any other number 1 goaltender where they want to have the crease as much as they can.
Yeah, I mean, they played Detroit on the 25th. Monday the 25th.
Yep.
Chicago on Thursday the 28th. Then you got a day off, and then you have Saturday and Sunday that weekend. So it's not like Jones is probably going to see a lot of work leading up into that weekend. So, yeah, depending on where you're at, again, I go back to the whole idea of we've seen bizarre things happen, you know, multiple times. Calgary could go on a losing streak for their next 5 games and help the Sharks out while the Sharks go on a winning streak. And all of a sudden it doesn't matter so much because, you know, ask Eric, puck guy when I say that. But
I was going to say, wait,
Eric,
which one?
Yeah, just because we all remember the February of not so long ago where the Sharks faced Anaheim and Chicago. And those are the teams that were killing it. And the Sharks swept them in 3 games straight and then proceeded to like not win a game or like won 1 game over the next 20 or something. It was something ridiculous, but they kept on clinging on to this fact that it's like, well, we're second in our division and we've just swept LA, Anaheim, and Chicago. We're looking for, and then fell out of the playoff picture, never returned. So we've seen that March can be a biatch to the Sharks. But then again, as far as I know, and somebody should look this up on the chat, can any of you guys remember the last time the Sharks played 3 consecutive months in a season, and then during those 3 consecutive months, they won the first 5 or more games of each of those months? I can't, you know, I looked it up, man. I couldn't find anything. January, February, it was like January, they won like, what was it, like 6 straight? February, they won 7 straight. This month, they won like 6 straight. Just all off the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
As long as that continues through June, I won't have a problem with it.
And Chris in the chat, I will never forget that 3-game streak ever.
So getting back to the recap, 14-10 in favor of Nashville in the shots for the first period. Moving on to the second, that's when the Sharks started to get things going. Timo Meier picks up his 27th of the season from Pavelski and Joachim Ryan. Tie this game up at 1-1. Landy, what did you think of Timo lighting up the scoreboard there?
I thought it was, you know, I think it's good to get him going again. I think when you have him and Kane, you know, kind of going at the same time, it can be really, it can be really disruptive, especially with both playing the way that they play, for them to wear down opposing defensemen, that's really important. That particular goal, he's just going to the net and he gets it on net and he's able to score and doing the right things, and I think definitely making up for that kind of missed assignment back check for the goal that he allowed in. So it was good to see him get a little bit of redemption.
And unfortunately, they had still were mentioning the goal. Danny Miller was finally mentioning it was from Meier and Pavelski at 4:09 that Victor Arvidsson gets his 30th of the season. Damn that guy. Victor Arvidsson was a killer guy for the playoffs for the Predators a couple of years ago, and he does it to the Sharks again. His 30th.
Wait, who was that? Who was that?
Victor Arvidsson.
Okay, just checking.
we have our professional pronunciator with us tonight.
I was going to say, like, really? You've been silent the whole time, and yet you're going to jump in and go, you know what? I didn't hear the D pronounced in that name.
No,
you need
I'm
to make
just
sure.
That guy that, we should have drafted in 2012, 13, 14. Just saying.
That's true.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That.
Here we go. We're gonna
Anywho.
Barzal. There's so many people names that we're going to bring up. Anyway,
Niedermeyer.
Forsberg, I mean, he banks it off Arvidsson, goes 5-hole. If you go back and look at that goal, that really comes down to the fact that just prior to that, Justin Braun had a little bit of a collision in I don't want to say the corner, between the corner and the goal net, but behind the line, the crease. Go back and look at that, and I think it's on the Teal Town USA Twitter feed. You see Justin Braun's reaction snail-like. Like, if he had reacted faster, like you literally saw him, the guy that I wish I could remember the Predator that he was in the corner with, but they both kind of collide in the corner, and the Predator just bounces out of there and it's like, I need to get on there. I need to be Johnny in the spot. And Braun's like, oh, what? Are we still playing hockey? I thought I heard a whistle. And Braun was slow as molasses getting out of that position. And then, boom, that's when Arvidsson got in there in front of Jones. Boom, 5-hole, there you go. And I look at that if you look at the first two goals for the Predators tonight, both of them came basically, you can look at lazy ass plays from the Sharks. There's Timo Meier.
Well, even the third goal where they score, that's where Ryan could have easily sealed the boards if he puts his body against the boards. Instead,
you know what? And I'll give, but see, this is the whole thing. I'm going to give Ryan at least a half a pass because he hasn't played in like a month and a half. It's like, okay, I might give you just a scotch of an excuse, but Timo Meier, we're talking about the guy who busted his ass to help Pavelski score in like the final 4 seconds, just a game or two ago, whatever it was. And then tonight, he basically like stopped skating in the neutral. And then tonight, Braun just not getting off of his keister in the corner fast enough to make sure that he's in front of Jones, to make sure that Jones is not going to see that rubber. But boom, because of that, Arvidsson puts it in. I don't know. It's, to me, I look at tonight's game, and again, I'm not going to call the game 2 nights ago a trap game when you sit there and look at, versus Florida, blah, blah, blah. Florida had 3 days off. They've got a hot rookie goalie. The Sharks have played 3 of 4, 4 of 6. You've got EK65 out. Evander Kane had missed his 7th game at that point. Shimmick
3 games in 4 nights.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Shimmick gets injured. I mean, there's a lot of things at that point. So I will give them a pass versus Florida. And there's a lot of people who sit there, well, what are you talking about? Florida's like 12 points out of a wild card spot, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, I don't care. There's a lot of things. Oh, and I didn't even mention the time change and the 2 games in the middle of those 4 games that had to do with travel. But tonight, it's like you've been home for a couple days, and this is what you do. Like, I understand if you get beat. If I'm looking at the replay and you get out hustled, Absolutely. You know what? Sometimes you just face a team that has skaters on them that they're just out and out faster. And we've seen that before with the Sharks. Tonight, Meier got beat because he stopped skating. Braun got beat in the corner because he didn't hustle. That's what it was.
No, I totally agree. And you're giving Ryan a pass. I'm not. I mean, those are the kind of plays that got his ass stapled to the bench in the first place. You know, like just those lazy plays, not taking the body, you know, trying to use his stick instead of using his body more. And that's why he was, you know, taken out in place of Šimik. And, you know, that his lack of sealing the puck on the boards or taking the man, either way, you know, stop that puck from, you know, leaving the blue line, the far side blue line, offensive blue line, because you're going to have the Predators pick up speed through the neutral zone. And that's exactly what happens. And they score. It was not a great play. And I honestly, him and Braun looked really bad tonight. I think, you know, they just did not look good.
And now here's Puck Guy to tell you about Thornton and Sissons.
At 7:09, Colton Sissons slashed his hurdle. And then at 12:59, Colton Sissons decided to cross-check Jumbo. Jumbo didn't like it, so he cross-checks him some more and some more and some more. And then Colton Sissons says, like, no, I don't like that either.
Is there anything better than an angry Jumbo?
Angry Kane.
An angry. What's better than
angry Jumbo? Angry Jumbo trumps Angry Kane every time.
You know what trumps an angry Jumbo? A scoring Jumbo. When Joe Thornton gets, thank you. I'll be at Rooster T. Feathers next week. Joe Thornton, while it was on the always exciting.
Good evening, Sharks fam.
While on the always exciting 4-on-4 play, Joe Thornton buries his 15th from Burns and Vlasic at 17:36. That was after the Swiss on Swiss violence of Roman Josi interfering with calling it like it is, a diving Timo Meier. So, Landi, what did you think of Jumbo? And then I'll ask AJ about the coincidental minors.
Yeah, I mean, look, as far as the goal is, how do you defend that? I mean, Jumbo makes a pass between his legs back to Burns. Burns immediately goes towards the net, and right as he's going to fake the shot, he's passing it back over to Jumbo. Jumbo just basically puts his stick outward and is able to deflect that into the net. I mean, bang, bang play, you know, that celebration was awesome because you got to see those two, you know, just hook up for a goal, and they just had, such big smiles. I mean, wide grins. I mean, it's just really awesome to see that. And it's good to see Jumbo continue putting up the points and continuing to be really productive. And Burns, being Burns and just making some plays in the offensive zone. So it was a good all around goal. I like that it was, it was the Sharks responding and they tied it up because of that.
No, you can't say enough good things about Thornton on that one. I mean, it was literally like Thornton taking control, getting it down. Burns gets a piece of it. Thornton finds the right spot to just bank it in because, Thornton, such an amazing goal scorer. That's what he's known for.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, yeah. No, you have to love it. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like Thornton knows, granted, it took Thornton a little bit this season to find his groove, and I think part of that had to do with the fact where it's just kind of, hey, Jumbo, you're not the center for the number one line anymore. And that's just the way it goes. We have people that we need to slot in, whether it's going to be Couture and Pavelski, whether it's going to be Hurdle and Couture, doesn't matter what happens. You're not the number one guy, but we need you to come in and be as Jumbo as possible. And you see him, he is having an amazing time. You see those photos of him on the bench when somebody else scores and he's just sitting on the bench and he's just, baby, yeah, bud. He just looks like he really knows that whether it's this year, next year, the year after, he knows that he is on the horizon of his career and he's all about just trying to enjoy it all. And it's fun to watch. It's really fun to watch. And this is the thing that I would love for the Sharks to win everything this season, because if they did, I honestly think that Jumbo would be like, okay, mic drop. Like literally, this was the last thing I had on my bucket list was to win a cup. I've done that. So mic drop. I'm going to take my Jumbo ass up to my beautiful home in Los Gatos, and I'm just going to sit in the jacuzzi or the pool or the wine bar or whatever else I've built in my beautiful house. And I'm just going to sit here and just have it on NHL Network 24/7 and just go, yeah, I did all of that.
So thank you, Andy, for sending the stats in for Martin Jones. Martin Jones, since February the 2nd, is sporting a .909 save percentage with a 2.61 goals against average. Since March 1st, he's at a .917 with a 2.286 goals against average. He's
trending up, which is a good sign. But that's the thing, is that he'll have a game where he has a shutout against Minnesota, so he posts Yeah,
I think you're looking at the March the 11th game, posts the shutout. The night next, the 14th against Florida. It's like 852.
Yes, exactly. And so you have to even those numbers out. That's the whole thing, is like you take it in blocks, whether it's like, okay, his last 5 games or his last 10 games, however you want to try to make the numbers work in your favor. I get that. The fact of the matter is Jones has been the picture of inconsistency this year. So I don't think, and you look at various people on Twitter, there's some that are going to sit there and go, hey, look at it, look at the number next to his name that has a W next to it. He's, him and Fleury got all the W's. I appreciate that. Absolutely, as a Sharks fan, I appreciate getting the wins. That is the biggest barometer of all. But when you get to the playoffs, that save percentage and goals against average is going to factor in. Now, granted, the Sharks get into the playoffs, whether it's Arizona or Minnesota or St. Louis or Dallas or Calgary or Vegas, whoever they end up playing, is it going to be a case of, well, the first game that the Sharks played, Martin Jones posted a .946 with a 1 goals against average. Okay. And then the second game, well, Martin Jones came into this one and posted a 4 goals against with a .742 save percent. You know what I mean? I'm looking for consistency. That's all. And we've seen it. We've heard it from Drew Remenda when he's come on. But you look at goalies that get deep into the playoffs. These cats average .918, .920, .922. That is, the sweet spot. And Jones has not gone on a stretch this entire season. I don't think that's been 5 games or longer where he's done .920 or better. We've seen him 3 shutouts on the season, 2 of them coming against Minnesota in Minnesota. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's great. You've hit the record books that you're the first NHL goalie in history to shut out Minnesota twice at XL. Good for you. But the fact of the matter is, you've also put together a string of games where you went like 7 games in a row that you could not even crack 900 in your save percentage. And the thing that just gets me is you look at people on Twitter, there's that Jones defensive group where it's like, well, he turns it on in the playoffs, or you're looking at it too much in a bubble, or it's too compressed or whatever. Fact of the matter is, look, it's still something. You look at the numbers this season, it's a worthwhile discussion to have. And it's a bummer that there are some people that sit there and will just shut you down if you bring it up. And it's just, dude, that like NHL Network is having this conversation. Like, okay, you're somebody on Twitter who has 56 followers and blah blah blah, and I don't want to use that as a reason to discount your opinion. But when like Kevin Weeks or like another goaltender, like
Mike Johnson,
somebody who played the game and played that position is on the NHL Network calling it out, excuse me if I give a little more weight to their opinion than yours.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, AJ. I think the other thing, though, that I would love to bring up is the fact that excuse me, it's just how, you're exactly right, how inconsistent he is. But is the team winning despite of him or because of him? Right. And so now we're looking at, his previous games where he's got these 890 or 845 or 750 or, just these subpar goaltending numbers. And you're wondering, okay, is the team winning because they're outscoring the opponent, or are they winning because of their defensive, prowess and their goaltending? Because, scoring is not going to continue at this pace going into the playoffs. Right. And so you're going to have a goaltender who's going to be able to limit the other team to 2 goals or less. And that's not only on the defense, but that's on the goaltending as well. That means no more fat rebounds. That means no more venturing out into the freaking, boonies for a puck. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Jones, because there was a couple of times where they could have banked the puck off of him while he was out doing his Niemi-esque impression.
That was very Steve Shields.
Exactly.
I was thinking Vesitoskala personally.
Oh, well, yeah, you could go Vessi too. But, I mean, really, we're getting down to crunch time.
But it's not like any of us hold like a grudge.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And the stakes have been, somewhat high, but not really too bad. And when you really get into the playoffs and you get into a game 7 or a game, an elimination game type situation, you want to make sure that your goaltender is going to be able to make a save when he has to.
Well, dude, Chris JWS in the chat throwing receipts down. This season, Jones has had 1 streak of 5 games, 90% plus. 2 streaks of 4 games of 90%, but 1 of 3. So yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. He's just been incredibly inconsistent this season, and like I was saying, he'll have 1 or 2 games, and then he shits the bed, and then he'll have one just spectacular game, and then the next 3 he can't crack 900. So that's the whole thing. You're looking for, your goalie needs to have consistency. And granted, you can't sit there and look at kids like that cat from who do we play 2 nights ago? Florida. What's his name? Beaumont, whatever the hell his name is. Montembeau,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the kid hasn't lost a game yet, but he's only played like 4 games in the NHL. And then you look at Jordan Bennington over in St. Louis, and it's like, yeah, okay, all of these small sample sizes, but still, I would just expect more from Jones. But of course, this is the bone of contention, and we'll get back to you, puck guy, in a minute. But because I'm telling you, yeah, like Eric's been sitting over here for a hot second going, yeah, can we talk about Thornton Bearing the Burns helper and finish off the second? But here's my issue when it's Brody or Brownie or whoever talking about, well, it all comes down to W's, doesn't it? That's what it comes down to. Yeah. Over the course of an 82 game season, it does come down to W's. Absolutely. Over the course of playoffs, where everything is just so tight and segmented, I don't know that it comes down to that. You need a guy who's going to be able to pull a game out of his ass from time to time. And right now, I don't know that Jones is that guy.
AJ, and piggyback on this, and this will be my last point. Andy Mann brings up a great point. The Sharks have allowed only 28.3 shots per game this season through 72 games. That is fewest in the league. And yet we have the worst save percentage.
Yeah.
Yep.
See that, and that's my whole thing. Is it feels like the Sharks came into this season going, you know what? We're going to be the run and gun team. We're going to be the team that just outscores you. If you put in 6, we're going to put in 7. You know, and you know what? Unless your team name is the Washington Capitals, I don't know that that's going to be true. But it's the fact of the matter is the Sharks really seem to have come into this season saying we're going to be a run and gun team this year. And granted, you know, Kuhre, Pavelski, not the fastest guys on the planet, but they're really smart. They know how to get into the right spots. It still comes down to this whole idea of it's kind of bothersome that you look at this team the previous 3 years with Peter DeBoer. They were so defensively sound. How do things change that ridiculously? But you know, something to latch on for another day. Eric Kuhre, get us out of the second period. Are you still here, or should we just like kick you up?
No. Shots on goal in the second period, 11-6 in favor of San Jose. To me, great for Jumbo to get his act together and get his 15th. Maybe he has a chance for 20, but that might be pushing it just a little bit. Moving on to the third period. Yeah, third period.
Oh, hold on. Did you say third period?
Yes. Philip Forsberg gets his 25th from former Shark Matt Irwin and Ryan Johansson to make it 3-2. This turns out to be the game-winning goal at 7:02 of the third period. Victor Arvidsson, yes, that guy again, scores his 31st on an empty net by former Shark prospect Nick Bonino.
Well, hold on. Can we go back to the Forsberg goal at 7:02? I mean, Forsberg, that one goes in. He fires that from behind the net essentially, and that was just an unlucky bounce that went off Team Heed's stick.
Yep.
Yes, but here's my question on this one. As you guys were talking about Jones, where the hell was he in that?
Yeah, overcommitted.
A little bit overcommitted, but I also think he was putting a little too much faith in his defenseman. If you look at the defensive setup in that situation, they weren't trying to help out Jones in any way, shape, or form. But again, I go back to the whole fact of Jones is not looking for a goal to come in off of his own, you know, player's stick. Go back and look at that play. It's on Teal Town USA, the Twitter feed on the GIF. That's dude, Patrick Waugh, Brodeur, whoever, they're not stopping that goal. It was just an unfortunate, unlucky bounce. Those happen from time to time. And, you know, Heed's going to get burned in effigy because of it when he shouldn't. But, you know, it's very reminiscent. If you go back 2 days ago versus Florida, there was a slapper that Meier was trying to block, but instead ended up being a tip that went past Jones. You know, you're going to have those plays from time to time where you feel like you're trying to do the right thing, and unfortunately you get the wrong bounce. It's going to happen. But again, you go back to what I was saying with the first two goals. That first goal, to me, I can kind of lay that on Meier a little bit because he dropped ass in the neutral zone. The second goal, Braun, where the hell were you, man? Like, get off your ass and hustle. So I'm not putting that on Heed. I mean, that's just an unfortunate, unlucky bounce. I mean, it's like the stanchion goal, you know, it's just an unfortunate bounce of it, and it happens. I'm not talking about versus the Sharks. I'm talking like, who was it? Was it the Texas Stars? A couple of games ago
against Manitoba.
Yeah,
Texas versus Manitoba. Yeah, I mean, just, you know, every once in a while, or like, you know, Jeremy Roenick's 500. You know, it's like you get fluke goals from time to time. Tonight, maybe
against Montreal in '92.
That's what I'm saying. So that's again, I look at that and I go, well, you know, you're going to have some unluck. But the thing is, in the whole idea of you make your own luck, the fact of the matter is, Timo Meier dragged ass on that first goal. Justin Braun dragged ass on the second goal. If neither of them drag ass in those opportunities, maybe Nashville doesn't score. So I'm not going to I'm not going to burn Tim Heed, who has up until this point played fantastically in Erik Karlsson's place for what he's being asked to do. I think Tim Heed has done a yeoman's job.
No, I totally agree. I don't think that that's Tim Heed's fault. And, there was a question in the chat, who do we think is going to sit when Karlsson comes back? Quite frankly, I think it's going to be Ryan. I think the way that Heed has been playing, and I think the way that he has really kind of elevated his game.
Pissed off if it wasn't Ryan at this point.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. So, Eric, want to go ahead and
we'll put a bow on this bad boy here.
Sorry, I need to jump in real quick, guys.
Go right ahead
on that. Hi, I'm Kevin Lacey. I'm the one with the weird graphic.
So it's not weird tonight.
It's not.
Well, let's finish off the third real fast. I mean, Jones.
Oh, I wanted to jump in on the Tim Heed thing that you guys.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, if Heed stays in, which I do agree with, who slides over to the left side?
Or do you keep Heed on the left
honestly, at this point, I don't think PDB gives two shits about lefty-righty matchups at this point. I mean, when you've got Kane, Hurdle, and Nyquist, all lefties out there playing together, I think he's thrown the whole lefty-righty thing out the goddamn window.
Which you should, but, that's just kind of a...
and Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, he's played on both sides of the ice before too, right?
He played both sides tonight. He was out there with Burnsy in the last, 4 or 5 minutes of the game. It was Heed and Burns trying to, when they put together Karlsson and Burns, they kind of doing the same thing again to have double offensively minded players. So he can play his offside.
Yeah, I think in Sweden, I think he did play on the left side on the offside. I know he's pretty much only played the right in North America until the last couple of games. So.
Gotcha.
And I'll be honest, the thing that bums me out about missing Shimmick, missing EK65 is the fact that Burns, I'm worried that he is going to get overworked.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see it tonight. I mean, it was practically every third shift, every other shift he was out there. So, I totally agree with you, AJ. I don't want to see him get burned out.
Looking at the chat right now, when can other teams make their offer for EK65?
Wow.
Oh, I think they can do that whenever they want, as long as nobody's aware of it. But anyway, let's finish this off. So Jones gets pulled with 18-16 into the third. Arvidsson would score the empty netter. That's fait accompli. 4-2, game over. Blah blah blah. First time in regulation this year that the Sharks have lost back-to-back games at home. And the other thing that's kind of not the best is, the Sharks so far have had 2 opportunities to clinch a playoff spot when other teams are doing their best to help them out in doing that, and they failed to pull it off. This game versus Vegas on Monday, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be pretty pissed off if the Sharks win 4 at home, leave, do a decent job, on those 2 games at Minnesota and Winnipeg, and then come back. I mean, could you imagine if they just shit the bed 3 games in a row and then to go on another 2-game road trip? Not a way to ingratiate yourself to the fans. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And so that, it's going to be really important for them to win on Monday. I mean, it's important for them to win every game, but still, the division is still within reach, basically despite their best efforts on the last 2 nights.
Yeah.
But,
so, speaking of, what do you got?
Oh, I was just going to say really quick, you had Michael Haley at 8:06, Barclay Goodrow at 9:51, Melker Karlsson at 10:02. I know there are people out there that are going to complain about the ice time there. Burns had 26:42, like 6 minutes more than Justin Braun had, who was at 20:47. Heed was at 15.57 along with Joachim Ryan at 15.49. So kind of balance between the other 5 defensemen, but Burns at 26 minutes. You got a little bit of a point there, AJ, and since that Burns, is feeling it a little bit, and that's where EK65, when he does return, might help that a little bit out, a little bit better on that one.
Well, the good thing is that he did skate this morning, right? So, he's testing it out, and we'll see, where that goes from there. But,
and
hopefully
the other thing that I kind of look at too is, and this is the first time I've seen in a long time, not a single Shark tonight was positive in the faceoff circle.
The Sharks got beat 44% to 50.
How you gonna do that hockey?
Oh, sorry. No, but Couture and Hurdle both 50%. Everybody else lower. For Goodrow 44, Thornton 43, Pavelski 43. Like, dudes, like there really wasn't much of it. You look at the numbers and you're kind of surprised, going, I can't believe they only lost 4-2. To be honest, when you look at the numbers, but anyway.
Matt Ronco in the chat with the addition of EK. Not sure which one. The Sharks should really go second round at least. If they lose in the first, I suspect a substantial change would happen. Not necessarily as originally reported by Kurz back in December.
That substantial change is not going to be behind the bench.
Yeah, it's not going to be behind the bench. Was reiterated by Nick Kyprios tonight on Hockey Night in Canada that Peter DeBoer has signed in contract extension, either 2 or 3 years on that one. So another interesting point to put a bow on is Couture and Pavelski -3 on the night. That's a rough one, and so the Sharks will have to get that back Monday night against Vegas. That's at 7:30.
And we've been waiting, like 3 games in a row now for Logan Couture to hit his 500th NHL point, and we're still like on Logan watch. Just saying.
Yep.
All right. Where's that turtleneck wearing bastard? Oh my God, the freaking Barracuda.
I didn't wear the turtleneck. Man. I apologize.
Oh boy.
How many times are the Barracuda going to lose?
This is where Landi taps out. Bye, everybody.
Landi, have a great night. Take care. Joining us now, Mr. Kevin Lacey, to talk about that Barracuda Hockey Club as they took on the Colorado Eagles this afternoon at the tank.
Poor Landi. That man bun has to be a lot to maintain.
That's not maintaining the laundry in the background, which I believe Fourpaws wants to see folded on the YouTube channel.
But before we get into Lacey's breakdown of the Barracuda, we haven't done this in a little bit. For the 34 of you watching right now, do us a favor. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. It's right there. Hey now, John giving us $2 for the feels. For the only 2 freaking goals we scored. We appreciate that, John. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, if you will, please. Absolutely. Spread the word. We obviously want to grow this as much as possible. So if you would, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of them at Teal Town USA. We would certainly appreciate that, especially if you're a Barracuda fan, because Lacey knows himself some Cuda.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Kevin, I'll let you take it away as the Barracuda take on the Colorado Eagles this afternoon. What did you see from that outcome?
Yeah, the last couple of times that I've been on Teal Town After Dark, as AJ alluded to, it was really just bleak. Like, not many good things to say about this team. I actually thought the Barracuda played pretty well today. They did lose again, but they battled Colorado pretty well. And that was sadly a matchup of 2 second-place teams, because entering the day, the Barracuda were in a 3-way tie for second place in the division. And now they've fallen to third because Colorado won their 9th game in a row. Apparently, everybody's going streaking. I know you've got to have that soundbite, AJ, somewhere. Like, everyone's going streaking. Streaking. Yeah, for real. Because Bakersfield had their 17. There's that.
Yeah.
Bakersfield had their 17-game winning streak. Oh, jeez. Why did I?
Oh, keep going.
Where's the gong? No, but basically, here's a sum up of the game, because the Barracuda and Colorado, I thought, played a pretty even first period. Both teams had their chances. Goaltending was outstanding today. Both Pavel Francouz of Colorado and Antoine Bibeau of yes. Is that the soundbite for Antoine Bibeau? Oh, that poor guy.
I thought that was the groan you had when Colorado scored their third of the game.
That was the groan that that was the groan that I had for that, because there was a 5-minute stretch in the second period. See, the first period was pretty even. Colorado started playing pretty physically in the second and really started to wear down the Barracuda. And about the last 5 minutes of the period, the Barracuda just decided to revert to their recent form of not knowing how to play defense. Bibeau was having to stand on his head, and then a couple of breakaways, and it's 3-1 Eagles. Barracuda played an outstanding third period, though. John McCarthy he went bar down after a wonderful pass from Jaden Hobgawks. Jaden has not scored in 19 games now. That's a problem. But he had a really nice just puck possession game, came up the left side with the puck, turned himself open. How do I want to say that? He opened up to make the pass. That's what I want to say. Across the crease, across the slot to John McCarthy, put it in. 3-2 early in the third, and then the Barracuda just poured it on from there, just couldn't get that tying goal. So we fell 3-2. But a much better effort than those games against Bakersfield and for most of the game against Stockton as well. So
and Lucas Radil going down to get some playing time, scores in the final minute. He gets a goal there, so that's always nice to see them contributing when they go back down.
Yeah, guys, it was kind of funny to hear second goal of the season for Lucas Radil, and it was like, really? And it's like, oh yeah, that's right, because when he got called up, he'd only had 1 goal in 11 games and still was the guy to get called up, because at that time I said, when you've got a 28-year-old player, you got to see whether or not he can hang in the NHL or not. I think he can. I think he's proven himself to be an NHLer.
Now, Kevin, can you at least try to put a bow or at least some sort of explanation on as to how this team started off so hot? It seemed like they were coming in after Thanksgiving and leading into Christmas, just owning their division, and, notwithstanding the Condors having like some ridiculous 17-game winning streak. Nobody saw that coming, but it just seems like once the calendar turned to the new year, how am I wrong in saying like they're not doing that great? Because it's not like there's a whole bunch of up and down happening between the Kuhre and the Sharks. Yeah, you have Gambrell, you have Suomela coming down and whatnot, but it's not like the hobby horse is like on overdrive.
I think there's a number of different things here. I think the main thing is with all the youngsters, they're still the youngest team in North America, as they have been the past couple of years. I think that they're just getting worn down from the rigors of a long season. But like you said, this started happening in December, like around Thanksgiving, really. Mm-hmm. And that coincided with Lucas Radil getting called up. I don't though why one guy should have such an impact there. I think Vincent Praplin's injury was huge as well, because that basically was 2/3 of your top line, or your two of your top six forwards there.
And Braun is now on to Florida, yes?
Yeah, he got traded for the popular future considerations. But Vincent Praplin was already rumored to have a handshake deal to go back to Switzerland after the season. So,
but
the
have
Sharks,
are you surprised that like the drop off for the team has been kind of? I'm not blaming anybody, but what I'm saying is that it just seems like it doesn't matter whether it's Bibeau or Cornash. Like the precipitation has been pretty even keeled going downhill. Like, are you surprised that one goalie hasn't stepped up?
I'm not surprised, because I think they're both quality netminders. I have gone on record on saying that Antoine Bibeau will be the backup for the Sharks next season. And
really?
that's
I am such a Cornash fan, but okay.
But Cornash is only 20 years old, going to turn 21, or I think he just turned 21.
And I was going to say, because if the Sharks bring up Cornash, they have the option to send him back down, whereas Bibeau would have to pass waivers, correct?
That is correct, but that's why I think that Bibeau would have the edge over Cornash in the sense of waiver protection. Cornash can easily be sent back down, and I think for a goalie who is so young as he is, I think it'd be better to have him play a full year as the de facto #1 goalie next year for the Barracuda than sitting behind Martin Jones, likely Martin Jones, next year. And actually, talking about kind of even keel there, they've split starts most of the year. This was only the third time this whole season that Antoine Bibeau has had back-to-back starts, believe it or not. And this is a goalie that was at the All-Star game last year for the Barracuda. So both goalies have been outstanding for them. But I think with Cornash, it's a matter of the team was playing a little bit better with him in net for whatever reason, and Bibeau was getting all the bad luck. And now it's kind of gone to both sides where neither goalie can get quality defense in front of them. They have these 5-minute lapses like what they did against the Eagles today, and it cost them. But I do like that Roy Sommer finally switched up the D pairs. I've been asking for that for a month. Tom Gregoire looked pretty good. I noticed a change in that the Barracuda defense was really active carrying the puck, not just moving the puck, but actually carrying the puck into the offensive zone. So I can see that there are some strategic differences that they've been working on here this last week, and we'll see where that goes. Hopefully they'll right the ship.
Are you impressed that it sounded kind of like I kind of knew what I was talking about when it came?
No, yeah, great.
He's our Barracuda expert for nothing, folks, and we got to give him for that. So, Kevin, thank you. The CUDA play on Sunday at 3 p.m.
Yep.
Against the Colorado Eagles. They will be in their special shamrock laced jerseys, which obviously will go to auction, so be out on the lookout for that. 3 p.m. tomorrow. Get your tickets now at sjbarracuda.com.
No giveaways? How do you not do a giveaway on St. Patty's? Just saying.
They did have green beer at the I'm sure they did at the Sharks game too, but they did have green beer at the Barracuda game today. So
I'll give you that. But if there's no corned beef sandwich tomorrow for the CUDA game, I'm going to be a little upset. I'm just saying.
I'll be surprised if 1/3 of the concession stands are open for the Barracuda game.
Oh, really? You're going to go there?
Wow.
Okay, fine.
All right.
It'd be that way.
Good crowd today, by the way.
Curtis said he gave him a reach around.
It's good to have good crowds. Go support your Barracuda. But as we just heard, it is time for the NHL Wrap Around. Let's get to these quickly, and we'll get you on out of here.
Wrap it up.
Blues 5, Penguins 1. Vince Dunn with 2 goals on the afternoon for the Blues. In Detroit, the Red Wings 2-1 over the Islanders. Athanasiou with both goals for the Red Wings in that victory. Tough loss for Oh, and former Shark Thomas Grice gets the loss in that one.
Thank you.
Sorry, thank you. No, I appreciate that. Panthers 4, Kings 3. Jonathan.
I'm sorry. Did Montembeau pull another win out of his ass? Has this goalie ever lost a friggin' game? No, I don't think so. Not in regulation. Who the hell is this kid?
AHL All-Star Samuel Montembeau.
Jesus Christ, dude. Like, he's literally making like what's that kid from St. Louis? Bennington?
Yeah.
Jordan Bennington, yeah.
Dude, he's made Benning who? Dude.
Dadenoff with 2 goals for the Panthers. Former Shark Mike Hoffman with the 33rd. He's got a lot of stuff in his briefcase now, headed home to Florida. The big one that many Sharks fans were watching on NHL.tv or your pirated site that you have. Jets 2, Flames 1. Scheifele and Perreault with the goals for the Jets. Connor
Hello.
Buck with the win for the Jets. The Flames, that's a tough loss for them to take there. In Boston, the Bruins win 2-1 over the Neon Buggers. Duchesne's 30th wasn't enough. Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand combined to get the winning goals. Yaroslav Halak did not push the net off its moorings this time and gets the win in that one. In Montreal, the Blackhawks shot out the Canadiens 2-0. Carey Price gives up goals to Murphy and Perlini. Perlini's been on a roll lately there. And,
13 goals in the season. I don't know if you can call it a roll, but I do remember a GIF going around to today for that particular game with was it Price giving Crawford like a kind of little fist pump at the end of a period saying, "Hey, good save." That happened.
nice.
It did. It went around on NHL GIFs. It was just kind of like, like for all the stuff that we sit here and talking, oh, those teams should hate each other, blah, blah, blah. It's nice when you see, because we've all seen, like, who was it? It's like Jeremy Waugh was like ready to throw down, or what, or was it, who was the cat from New Jersey that like won all the cups?
Martin Brodeur.
Yeah, Brodeur or Waugh. There was somebody else too. I know you would have thought that Belfour would have been like involved in a lot more, interesting activity. But either way, the fact that you saw Crawford get a fist bump from the opposing goalie, like, we need more of that in hockey. Just recognize that, hey, sometimes a guy's on top of his game.
Funnily enough, there was some talking during, I think, Philly and Toronto, and Don Cherry, of course, goes off on it on Coach's Quarter this evening.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was talking during a Philly game. Color me shocked.
I know.
We're talking about hockey or football?
I don't know.
Anyway,
no,
Philly,
I couldn't
Philly
read
knows
lips.
how to talk.
In Ottawa, speaking of teams that don't like each other, Senators 6, Leafs 2 on this one. Yes. Magnus PRV, have yourself a game. 2 goals on the night. Cody Ceci, Gibbons, Duclair, and Lindbergh all scoring goals as Garrett Sparks takes the loss. John Tavares gets his 40th goal of the season in the loss there. The Leafs are really struggling on that one. That's putting it lightly.
Tavares getting his 40th on the power play. And if you don't know, look it up on Twitter. John Tavares has seen some shit.
And and Dangle's LFR is probably going to be pretty insane tomorrow. Tampa Bay 6, Capitals 3. Vasilevsky continues to do his thing again. Killorn with a hat trick for Tampa Bay. Ovechkin with 2 goals. He's at 48 on the season. In Carolina, they skull their way to a victory, 4-2 over Buffalo. Damn it. Freaking Palmerville. Come on.
Hold on. Wait. Whoa. The Hurricanes won at home. I'm sorry. I need to look up tonight's celebration on the Twitter machine.
You do that. And while you do that, Minnesota 5 over the Rangers 5-2, the final there. Zibanejad, Mika Zibanejad and Buchnevich get the goals for the Rangers. Donato with 2 goals. Eric Stahl gets his 20th as former Stockton Thunder goaltender Devin Dubnyk gets the win for Mini.
Wow, you went there, huh?
That's how I remember him.
Big deal. McDavid and Galchenyuk matchup goals. Big effing deal. The Oilers won a game. Good for them.
The
Coyotes, dude, do yourselves a favor. Get your ass into the wild card position a little bit more, please, because I want San Jose to win this division, and I want them to face the Desert Dogs in the first round.
Brody and Randy will make us all drunk the entire first round. That's for sure.
This is what I'm saying.
Currently in the Pacific, Calgary at 95, San Jose 94. Both have 10 games to go in this season. Vegas with 11 to go at 83. Winnipeg is a point ahead of Nashville in the Central. Winnipeg and St. Louis have 2 games in hand on Nashville. The Blues are at 81. Dallas is at 79, so they're knocking on St. Louis's door for that number 3 spot in the Central. The Desert Dogs are at 78 right now. They have a 2-point lead with 10 games to go. Minnesota is at 76 with 10 games to go on the outside looking in. Chicago at 73, Colorado at 72, Edmonton at 71.
They're all done. There's only 10 games left. Let's be honest. So it's a 3-way go for the wild card between Minnesota, Arizona, and Dallas. Arizona, don't let me down, guys. Don't let hockey jerk down, is what I'm saying. The other thing, too, that I'm looking at is when you look at those top 3 teams in the Pacific, Calgary, San Jose, and Vegas. San Jose, over their last 10 games, 7-3-0. Now, granted, they've dropped 2 of those losses over those 3, their last 2 games. They got to turn it around. They got to get their shit together. Vegas 7-2-1, slightly better record. Calgary 5-5. Calgary right now playing .500 hockey. Beat the crap out of the Rangers last night, as they should, but got dropped by Winnipeg tonight. Hey, now, here is your opportunity, San Jose. Find the rhythm, man. Beat Vegas. Go down to SoCal, as you should, and beat the hell out of 2 teams. That now, when I say 2 teams, we're talking about the freaking bottom feeders of the West, all right? LA is the worst team in the West. Anaheim is the second worst team in the West. Has Anaheim been playing better hockey over the last 5-10 games?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Still, only 5-5. Now, how jacked up is that to say that Anaheim's playing better hockey over their last 10 games? Oh, what are they? 500. You can't get too excited about it. But when that's
Bob Murray, man, Bob Murray.
Just saying. So it's, you know what? Just clinch that shit versus Vegas. Make a statement that, yeah, we might face you assholes in the first round. Make a statement now, because the whole thing is what we play Vegas. On the 18th
and the
Barracuda, dude, and I'm looking at the Barracuda schedule. This is wrong.
The 18th and the 30th, AJ.
The Sharks play the Colorado Eagles tomorrow at 3:00. Wait, what?
It's the case. It's like you got Vegas on Monday, and then you have Vegas at the end of the month. You have 2 more games. Make a damn statement. Make a damn statement, boys. That's what I'm saying. Have we played Vegas once or twice? Because we always play the
twice.
Has it been twice already?
Okay.
Both
in Vegas.
The Thanksgiving game, which seems to be the new annual thing instead of playing the Blackhawks the day before, and then January 10th. So 2 games in Vegas. So you get to host Vegas twice to finish this season. So make a goddamn statement. You've already beaten them once this season, so do it again. And we'll do it 2 more times this season. But beat Calgary. I mean, oh my God, can we not look at this schedule? It is so drawn up for the Sharks. Are you kidding me? Vegas, then at LA and Anaheim, 2 teams that you should blow out of the building. Then Detroit, another team you should literally blow out the building. They are the second to worst team in the East. You got to blow these guys out. Then you get Chicago. Hello. They are 5 points out of a wild card spot. And if I remember correctly, you beat Chicago not that long ago, right? Didn't they beat?
And March 3rd.
Yeah. So it's like you've already beaten those assholes. Then you get Vegas again. Then you get Calgary, which is going to be a huge game. Get to that point where those last three games, Vancouver, Edmonton, and Colorado, two of the three that are like way out of the playoff picture. And by that point, when you're playing fan appreciation night for your last game against Colorado at this point is 6 points out of a wild card. They could be way out of it by fan appreciation. So it's like, take out the trash, boys. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, I look at this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 games to go. If the Sharks don't go 8-2 on this stretch of 10, I'm gonna be a little pissed off, to be honest with you. Regardless of whether they have EK65 or not. Like, they got the horses. 8-10. Okay, fine. 7-2-1.
All right, so AJ's expecting 15 points in the last 10 games.
Absolutely.
All right, so 15 out of 20. That would put him over 100.
And I want first scene points for that.
Okay. Hockey Jerk, make a note of it.
If you're listening. Hold on. AJ's new hairstyle looks cool. What?
It's the same hairstyle.
I was going to say, this is the same hairstyle it's been for since we started the show. But hey, you know what? For pause, you ridiculously threw up the 50. I will agree with anything you say in our chat.
That might not be good. Well, in that case, in case you missed anything, you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and of course, smash that subscribe button to our YouTube channel. We thank the 1,248 subscribers who are tuned in to this. We do this after every game. We have pucknologists coming up. We have special interviews. So make sure you stay right here. We are the hockey content that you've been thriving for in the Bay Area and Northern California. So make sure you stay right here, folks. So final thoughts on where the people can find you. We'll begin with Mr. Kevin Lacey.
You can find me at the Sharks game on Monday at home against Vegas. You can also find me at the Sharks game Friday in Anaheim in section 203, I think is what it is. I don't know. It's the left corner of your TV screen. That's where I will be along with Drew Weber and friends, and it's going to be a great time. And if you'd like to call me, my number is, according to this tweet that came from Zach Wilson, my number is 416-35.
Oh, look at that. Somehow the horn overrid Kevin what he was saying. Hate when that happens.
That's probably a good thing because, as Kevin will tell us, what's that number for, Kevin?
It's for my office in Toronto.
Wait, what? Yeah, it's he was about to give the phone number for the NHL situation room. So with that, thank you. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, you got to check that out on Twitter. It's really crazy. And with that, final thoughts on where the people can find you. Oh my God, Mr. AJ Strong.
Everybody knows that they can find me. It's probably in the most uncomfortable position possible. Let's be honest. AJ_Strong Twitter on all the social media platforms. There you go. New pucknologist. And you know what? I know there's only 27 watching right now, but I'm still going to say this right now because we did have some people asking about it, saying, "Hey, where was pucknologist last week?" The last 7, 8, 9 days were not the best days in Sharks territory. We lost and I haven't said anything about this because I haven't been on enough to really say anything about it, but we lost a huge friend for the show in Mike Nevis. And I haven't said a single word about that until today. And the reason being is that I wanted to save it for the Pucknologist, but it happened last Sunday. And that's the reason why Pucknologist did not go live last Sunday, because none of us wanted to, because we were all kind of bummed out, to be honest. But we're going to talk about it tomorrow. We're going to talk about Sharks hockey tomorrow and the last 2 weeks of what has happened. But and I don't want to make I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable by any stretch of the imagination. But let's be honest, a lot of stuff has happened in the last 2 weeks, whether it was Mike Nevis, rest in peace. We saw the interview with Jamie Baker. We've seen what has happened with Evander Kane's personal life. It's just not been a great last 2 weeks for Sharks hockey. But that's why the Pucknologists were not on last week. But we will be on tomorrow evening. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're not going to, dwell on it whatsoever. But we are going to talk about this. And even a friend of the show today had some issues. And, I did my best to be involved in that and make sure nothing bad happened. It's, it's, I don't know, 2019, just the last 2 weeks have not been the best, but we're going to try to do our best to get through it tomorrow when we're doing our show. And I feel like I sound like an asshole saying, wow, he's trying to be like so nice while promoting the show. The reason why I'm promoting the show is because we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to be honest about it. When have you ever known me to not be honest about it on here? I'm honest to a fault sometimes. There are times that I'm so honest that the other people on this show would say, AJ, shut the crap up. You're being too honest. So we're going to discuss it tomorrow on the Pucknologist. And I hope you tune in. It's and without, like trying to be serious, but also everybody knows me to be the smart ass and to add some comedic flair. It's tomorrow on a very special Pucknologist. That's what it's going to be. So right. I hope you tune in is what I'm saying. And there you go.
Appreciate it, AJ. Thank you for those wonderful words. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram, and you know where you can find me. And any issues come up, you can talk to me in the DMs if you need it.
Wow, Chris, shut up, AJ. Certainly gets uttered at times. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll be back with you Monday night following the Sharks and Golden Knights. It should be a huge game. Maybe
where are they from?
Oh, I'm sorry. Las Vegas. Yes, definitely. Sorry, Brody, if you're watching. And we'll be back with you Monday night following that game, along with every single game. And we hope there's plenty of them through June. So until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. Be safe out there.
Hey, everybody. Drew Remenda here. You're listening to another podcast from Teal Town, USA.